Hello and welcome. It's Rebecca, your personal growth mentor. Welcome to Inspiring Your Shine. And today we are going to be talking about how you can simplify and create a focus and an intention that is one simple word for the year. I don't know if you've ever heard about this one word concept, but I started picking my one word about 5 years ago. I know that John Gordon writes a book about it, and then there is another book out, and the other book is called My One Word by Mike Ashcroft and Rachel Olson. As I was doing research about one word, because I was throwing a one-word party and I wanted to just make sure that there wasn't other great things that I didn't know about, so I did some research. And what I found was a lot of people referred back to this book, and so I'm sure that it is good. So it's very powerful to pick one word to guide you, and we're going to be going through why it's powerful, how you go about choosing your one word, and I'll have a worksheet for you to help you to work through that, as well as how you can take that one word and filter all of your goals through that, and what you can do to keep that one word in front of you and visual so that you can really embody it and it can become a part of you this year, so that when you get to the end of your year, you are going to see measurable growth in that area based on that word. It's quite cool. So like I was saying, I have done this now for about I think this is my 5th year in picking a word, and I have found it a very simple and effective way to help me to stay focused on what I want and the results that I want to have in my life this year. So the first thing that I did when I started really looking at my word, and like I said, I'm going to take you through a process to help you to really whittle this down. But for me, because I've done this enough, I can simplify my process, and you'll probably be able to also once you get a grip on it and you understand it. I looked at what was something in my year last year that I didn't want. And what I found was we had moved into a brand new house, our dream home. It's beautiful, but I still ended up feeling a lot of lack throughout the year because I had my course and I needed to market it. And I just ended up struggling quite a bit in my life in multiple areas, more than I had the previous year. Lack wasn't something that I had been struggling with, but for whatever reason this year, it really attacked me. And I have heard that when you reach big goals sometimes that you have a little bit of a dip. And so I guess you can say that I had a little bit of a dip. And so when I picked my word, I knew that I wanted to pick a word that kind of embodied the opposite of what I was having last year that I did not like. So my word for this year is prosper. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that in a bit. So first of all, as we get into this, what we want to do is talk about why is it that New Year's resolutions do not work? Why is it that so many people abandon their New Year's resolutions, that they've taken a little bit of time sometime to contemplate what they would want their year to look like, but by about February, most people have abandoned their goals. And we know this to be true. If you've ever been to a gym in January, everyone's there. And by about, February 15th, it's empty again. And people know this to be true. It's very common human behavior. But I believe that the reason why people don't stick to their New Year's resolutions is because it's just too complex and you get overwhelmed, and it's too hard to implement what you need to be doing on a day-to-day basis in order to truly make those goals and dreams come true that you have put out there for your resolutions. So that's why the one word is so brilliant, because we can still have something that's very deep and meaningful and can really move us forward, but we're going to simplify it so much by putting it into that one word. It will help you to have that single focus, but it's very multifaceted. Like I said, we'll be able to filter that word through every one of the areas of your goals. And what your word becomes is a mantra to help you guide your daily actions and will help you ultimately become a better version of yourself if you stay committed to this word. So not only does your word simplify how you're pursuing your goals, but it also gives you clarity because you can simply look at every situation and every decision and you can filter it through your word. And so I can look at lots of different things in my life and I can say, is this prospering me? Is this going to make me feel prosperous if I do this? Is this going to bring me closer to the prosperity that I desire? Or is it taking me further away? And it gives you the intention and allows you to be intentional about the things that you choose to do and the things that you take on. It also lessens confusion. And I don't know if you've heard the saying of a confused mind does nothing. Going back to those New Year's resolutions that we pick many times, it's very confusing and you're not really clear. When you have clarity, it is so much easier for you to move forward. You will actually be able to take action, and action is easier because you understand what it is that you're wanting and what you're going after. Your focus, your target, your intention is clear. And the last part of the one word is that it is multifaceted. So when we put that and filter that through all the different areas of your life, then you will see how meaningful that word can be. So what I had shared with you is that I had picked a word, and the point of picking a word is that you don't want to just pick a word like a New Year's resolution and then just completely abandon it. But what we want to do throughout this little chat with you is help you to determine your word, help you to understand how that word can be filtered through all your different goals, and help you to put that word in front of you and help you to commit to that goal so that it really will change your life this year. So the first thing that you want to do when you're looking at creating your word of the year is that you want to do a reflection. And one of the questions that I want to ask you, and these things are going to be on a worksheet that's available for you. So if you're driving or you don't have an opportunity to write this down, don't feel panicked. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to give you a little bit of space in between. I'm not going to pause too long because that'll be too boring. But I will give you this worksheet completely free for you to be able to work through it. So when we're reflecting, one thing that I want you to think of is similar to what I was telling you about how I determined my word is, what do you want less of this year than you had last year? All of the things, the words that come to mind that you want less of that you had last year that you do not want in your life this year. And so what we're going to be doing is writing down these words as you think about it, you write down all the words that come to you. And then we're going to be making a master list that you're going to be then whittling down to decide what your one word is. So the next thing I want you to reflect about. So when I answered this question, I was like, well, I definitely want less lack in my life this year. And I want less stress. Last year felt very stressful with the move and the change. And I had a lot of changes in my other business. It felt hard and stressful. And so I knew that I didn't want that again. Now, the next thing I want you to reflect upon is one thing that you want more of. What do you want more of this year? And I knew that I definitely wanted more money this year because I launched my course like a soft launch last year, but I didn't really do the marketing and the webinars and the launch sequence that I needed to do to truly make it a very profitable thing. And it was because I had so many other things going on in my life and I was frankly very overwhelmed, and marketing is its own beast. So I just kind of chose not to pursue that last year, but this year I am like, I have this amazing product, my course, Authentically You, Social Selling Success Academy, and I am very excited to get that out there this year. So I definitely knew that I wanted more money. I'm sure that you want more money too. And I wanted other things like I want more fun and I wanted more confidence this year in marketing my course. So the next thing I want you to think of is, what are the characteristics that you want to embody this year? What are those words, the character traits that you want other people to identify with you? And this is very important because one of the things that I talk a lot about is your personal brand. And that is, what do you leave in the minds of others after you are when you're not in the room? What is it that other people think about you? So what are those characteristics that you want to embody, that you want other people to notice in you? One of mine was abundance. And then I wanted to seem peaceful and calm. So I want you to think about how you want to feel. At the end of every day, when you lay your head on the pillow, how do you want to feel? Think about the words that you want to embody and feel when you lay your head on your pillow at night. And then I want you to think about, how do you want to feel in that first hour of your morning? Now, this is going to direct you to possibly make some changes, because if you can identify how you want to feel, and when you pick your word, you can really ask yourself, how can I prosper? If you use my word, how can I prosper in my first hour of my day? And then lastly, on that part about how you want to feel, because how we want to feel is important. We need to know how we want to feel so that we can really lead ourselves to that feeling, honor that feeling in our lives, know what we need in our lives to create those feelings. And so the last thing is just throughout your day, how do you want to feel? And I broke those up into 3 different things because it really is different. They bring up different words. So trust me and just go through the process, and do not be afraid if you're repeating. If you're repeating, that's actually good. So the last thing that you want to do in that exercise is you want to mind dump. So just think of all the words that inspire you, that you're attached to, that come to mind, that you like. Just write those down. And then once you take the master list of the words that you answered in those questions, plus your mind dump, then on the worksheet, you'll have a chance to look at them. And what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, is there a common theme here? Is there any of these words that I can group together that are kind of synonyms of one another? Because that, again, is going to be revealing things that you want in your life as you've went through this process. And then after you have your master list, you've asked yourself, can I group anything? Is there a theme? Then you'll want to whittle it down to, a handful of words. I think I have in the worksheet to get it down to 3. And then out of those 3, then you can choose your one word. And what you can do is look up synonyms of those 3 words. You can look up quotes or scriptures that include those words and just see what resonates with you. I think when I was doing it, I went and I had rich and prosper and free. And I looked up all of the different definitions and things, and what made the most sense for me at this point in my life was the prosper word. And I found some great things to go along with it to deepen the meaning for me. Now, once we pick our word, what I want to tell you is once you have your word, before we get into how this impacts your goals and how you keep it in front of you, I want you to really recognize that the reason why we don't meet our goals most of the time, the reason why we don't lose that weight that when we had started a diet, the reason why we don't stay exercising, the reason why we abandon the date night with our husband that we committed to, or we said that we wanted, is because we don't truly commit to what it is that we want. And so I want you to really think about, what does committing to your word this year look like? What does that mean for you to truly step into a full commitment? And a commitment means that you're going to embody that word and you are going to stay committed to being that word even when you don't feel like it. So just like any other commitment, I will be celebrating my 25-year anniversary in February of this year of 2019. And let me tell you, it was a commitment as to why we've been married this long. There are certainly days that we were not getting along, that things were not going well. And I can't say that I ever was like, I want out of here so much, like in a serious way. But I definitely would not probably have stayed if we didn't have that committed choice between us. Times get hard. So I want you to really commit to your word, and it will make all the difference for you. All right, so I told you that your word is very multifaceted. So I want to share with you how that works, because setting simple goals in multiple areas of your life through the filter of your word will help you to achieve them. Because again, it's that simplicity. You can program your mind through this one word so much simpler than if you had a whole bunch of disconnected goals. Because you have one focus that has many facets, and you are able to tell your brain that no matter what, you are going to prosper. You are going to have clarity. You are going to have calm. Whatever it is that you choose is going to be your word. So when you set up your goals with your words in mind, you can then ask yourself in each of those areas, is this action helping me to insert your word more? So in my case, it would be, is this going to help me to prosper more? And if the answer is no, when I ask myself that question, then I should not be taking that action. I should not be putting energy into that if I truly want to embody the word and the life of prospering. And that's what you need to do as well. So when you look at your goals, we want to look at the different areas of your goals. And I have this in the worksheet where in the middle, you're going to say, how can I insert your word in what happens to be right now, 2019. And once you have that, then you're going to look at the different areas of your goals. And again, this will be on the worksheet for you. So you just have to go into the show notes and it will give you a link for you to go to download this worksheet. So look at areas like relationships, or you could break that out and have relationship like your intimate relationships and friends and family separate. The next area would be fun or entertainment. Maybe even travel would be a part of that. Then you can have an area of finances, an area for your career, your business, your passion that you are pursuing. You can have a health and fitness area, and you can even add energy to that. I like that. And you can have your spiritual goals and your physical environment. And the reason why physical environment is a big one is because we have found how much our physical environment is impacting us. And we truly do have control and command over our physical environment. We just have to take responsibility for it. So that's a big one. And then another one that you might want to put on there, and I believe I put it on the worksheet, is personal development. So I may have not put all of these on my worksheet, just probably because when I was making the graphics, it just didn't work. So I had to cut it down a little bit. But those are some ideas for you of what you can do. And here's a good idea for you as well, is that check in with yourself every quarter. So a lot of times the reason why we don't make progress on our goals is because we set our goals and we forget them. So we need to be looking at them regularly. And then every quarter, we can set a reminder immediately in our phone when we set these for a quarter, each quarter. Go ahead and preset it, a little reminder for you to recheck your goals, relook at them, adjust them if necessary, evaluate them. Maybe you've changed, maybe your focus has changed a little bit. Maybe even your word changes throughout your year, because maybe right now you're really struggling with stress and so your word becomes calm. But then maybe 6 months down the road, you've really conquered that and you're feeling super calm and you want to change your word. No problem. Go ahead. Do that. You don't have to be married to it for the whole year. It's just more about allowing it to serve you. And if it's not serving you, then change it. Another idea that I heard in order to help you to stay on track with your goals and your word and really accomplishing what your word means to you for the year is to have an accountability partner. Maybe both of you can share your words and what it means to you, go over your goals together, and then you can have a time where you check in with each other. Whenever we have an accountability partner, we are much more successful. That's exactly why people hire coaches, is to just help them to stay accountable to what they have committed to. So the last thing that I want to talk about is that it's going to take time for your brain to wrap itself around this new way of being, this focus. So it's very important for you to get clear, to know your word, to set your goals, and to go through that process. Please give yourself the couple hours that it will take to really clarify this. It may even be less time than that, but just allow yourself 2 hours. If it takes less time, great. But give that to yourself, because when we fail to plan, that is when we fail to move forward and our life begins to look like Groundhog Day and our years repeat like Groundhog Day and we stay the same and the same. We're at the same income, the same level of business. Nothing changes because we aren't being intentional enough about our goals. We're not allowing ourselves the time to retrain our brain to give us a chance to create new habits and intentions in our life. So you need visual things around you to help you to remember and to stay on track and to give you that ability to embody the word, to give you the ability to truly embody the word so that it becomes part of you and in your subconscious. So some of the visuals that you can easily do are taking your word and making a screenshot of it, making a wallpaper of it on your computer, on your phone screen. Anywhere that you would be looking at a screen, try to make some kind of graphic or something that says your word. You can also, of course, just simply put a sticky note or several sticky notes in different places. Put it on your bathroom mirror, put it in your office, put it in your car, put it on the refrigerator. Anywhere that you know that you're going to be seeing it, just put that word around. You could also frame it. You can make it pretty so that it becomes a piece of art in your office or somewhere in your life where you're going to be seeing it all the time. At my Word of the Year party, we made artwork with our words of the year so that we can display them. So you could just simply take canvas, put a background, and write your word. I looked up my word and found a script that I liked, and then we put it on there. And here's some other great ideas that you can create a bookmark with your word on it if you read every night. If you journal, you can dedicate an entire journal and put on the binder your word of the year. And every single day on each page of your journal, you can write your word. Or you can put your word on your planner every single day. Or if you do a monthly calendar, just put it at the top of that month, every month. You can go ahead and write it on there right now so that you don't forget, so you don't have to even think about it again. A couple of other great ideas are there is a company called MyIntent, MyIntent.org, and they make these cool little circular metal charms that you can get your word printed on, your word or phrase, and they'll turn it into necklaces, bracelets, keychains, whatever you like. And it's not very expensive. It's anywhere from 15 to, I don't know, it probably goes up, but 15 to 30 was most of the things that I saw. Really, really cool. Or you could also create a Pinterest board with your word. So go into Pinterest, create a secret board, name it your word of the year, and just start pinning things that are visuals and things that embody that word for you. You could also just go and search a bunch of images that reflect that word for you, and you could make a pic collage. And then you could put that pic collage, and visuals are so important for our brain. Our brain turns all words into visual images. And so it's very important for us to use the power of the visuals around us to help us to accomplish and get things into our subconscious. So a couple of other ideas right before I end here is you could put it on a coffee mug or a tote or a book bag. There's a lot of places now that you can create your own tote bag. Not very expensive either. You could print it out in like a bigger size, like a poster at any of the printing shops. You could turn it into stickers. And like I already said, at myintent.org, I know they make jewelry for you. So it is very, very cool. And there's also some really cool like bar necklaces and very pretty things that you could do also. So if that's something that you think would be cool for you, then definitely just Google word art jewelry. And so the last thing that I want to leave you with is that it's very important for you to visualize how you would feel when you're embodying this word. So once you have your goals set and you've really thought about how you want to live out your word in each of the areas of your life, then take a little bit of time, maybe 20 minutes, and try to visualize how you want to feel when you are embodying that word. What a day in your life would look like, would feel like. There is something so powerful of us visualizing it and casting a vision mentally Once we have cast that vision mentally, then it makes it like a blueprint for our brain to follow. It's so, so powerful. If you've never done that, you just have to lay in a relaxed state, take some really deep breaths, and just begin to allow your mind to create this vision of what it would feel like, what you would be experiencing when you were living this life that you have now set goals for in these different areas through your word for the year. So I hope that that helps you. If you've never heard of one word, I hope that that gives you a good basis. Remember that you would probably want to download the worksheet. And if you have any problems with that, definitely connect with me. I'll send it directly to you, no problem, at inspiringyourshine@gmail.com. I am so grateful that you're here. If you enjoyed this, if you got any value of it, please share it with a friend. I would be very grateful for you to share it. And if you've never left me a review, please go to iTunes and leave me a review. It means so much for me to have those reviews on there so that other people can see that I actually have something good to offer. So thanks so much. And until next time, shine bright and make a difference.